Morning, they say two men entered the Shell gas station appearing to look around as if they're going to make a purchase. That's when they say suspect one, wearing a white knit cap and black face mask, approached the store clerk who was standing behind a counter, produced a handgun. While suspect number two stood by the door, suspect one demanded money from the register, and once the clerk complied, he walked behind the counter where the victim is said to have been helplessly on his knees and shot him. The two men then left the scene and the victim was taken to a local hospital where he succumbed to his injuries. Right now, Kenner police are counting on these images captured on surveillance video.
Into the NBC4 newsroom. Within the last 15 minutes, police have named two suspects connected to that deadly fire on the city's southeast side. Thanks for waking up with NBC4 today. I'm Matt Barnes.
I'm Katie Farrell. NBC4's Katie Love joins us live from police headquarters now with an update on this really bizarre investigation. Katie, what have we learned?
We've just learned that police have kind of pieced together what led up to this fire investigation turning into a homicide, saying it was a landlord on Grassmere Avenue who was trying to collect rent that was past due when one of his rentees shot and killed him, and another suspect tried to cover it up by setting the garage with his body inside a car on fire. We now know the victim's name, Joseph Remlinger. He's 50 years old, including the suspects who have now been arrested and charged with his murder. Now, we're trying to figure out why they would have felt that this was the only option. The suspect, Maurice Watkins, he's 33 years old. He is charged with murder. The accomplice, Pierre Williams, 25 years old. Now, Watkins is charged with shooting and killing Remlinger. And then again, Williams charged with arson for setting that car in that garage on fire. Last night, we even had a chance to talk to the homeowner who was completely shocked. He had just been out to his garage minutes before when it suddenly exploded.
We heard a loud boom. I mean, like it was like a John Deere hit the ground, and my neighbor ran down here and told me that my garage is on fire.
Now we've got two suspects, one charged with murder, the other charged with arson. Again, a very bizarre situation.
Family is devastated by this. Her brother-in-law spoke to us this afternoon.
She has three children. One is a business owner in Iowa. The other one is a Marine. He's a 20-year-old Marine. Currently stationed out in California. And the news to him this morning about his mother was just absolutely devastating. So now you have a 20-year-old kid out in California trying to make arrangements to fly home so he can put his mother at rest. And the other child is 17 years old, and he's still a high school student, and then my brother has a 19-year-old son.
Mayor was murdered just before 1 a.m. by a lone gunman who robbed the store on Middletown Road in Waldorf, according to the Charles County Sheriff's Department.
She obeyed every command that he gave her. He told her to, from what I understand from the investigators, some sort, give me the money, right? So she complied with every instruction he gave her and still took her life.
It's crazy, man.
Dismayed customers gathering today. Some left flowers in front of the closed-up store.
Everybody's shocked about it. Everybody, it's uproar.
Nearby, an active investigation and search in some woods near Westlake High School. There's a combined $12,500 reward. The Sheriff's Department says investigators have a description of the killer that they're working from.
I don't know if you guys caught what the media did there at the end. They always do this. The investigators have a description of the suspect, but they're not going to tell you what that is. That's better for you not to know. So anyone that might have been a witness that saw something that this could help in identifying the person, let the investigators deal with it, because we don't want to mess with the politically correct narrative that, black people are always victims. They don't commit the vast majority of homicides. We can't have that getting out there. So basically, this is part of reparations, guys. We got to get used to it.
Village.
Well, Angela, Justin Merritt is accused of killing Andy Banks in Wake County after the two met here last Saturday in Cameron Village to discuss selling a Range Rover. Now, Merritt appeared in court today before a judge who officially charged him with Banks's murder. Now, he was initially arrested and charged earlier this week for robbing Banks and using a pistol to steal his SUV. Now, the additional murder charge comes after Raleigh police discovered a body yesterday in rural Chatham, Virginia, that they they believe may be Banks's. That's about 81 miles from where Banks was last seen here in Cameron Village and about 25 miles away from where Merritt lives. Now, he is still currently being held in the Wake County Jail without bond. If convicted of murder, he could face the death penalty or be sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Now, I did reach out to the Banks family and his friends, and
they police say someone fired shots and stole the man's Mercedes in Miramar Sunday night. The car was ditched in Miami Gardens. A neighbor and the employer of the victim say Nelson Vega was shot and killed as he was dropping someone off.
Breaking now at 5, more arrests in the revenge killing of an innocent 62-year-old woman. A total of 5 people now charged in this case. Our Lee Peck is live at headquarters with the very latest in this. And Lee, 3 of those arrests happening in Birmingham.
Yeah, Lenise, there are a lot of moving parts to this case, so let's get right to it. 5 suspects, like you said, now accused in the murder of Martha McGenzie. She was shot to death inside her home on Roderick Road last Tuesday. Now, the 2 suspects on the top, Keaton McCants and Darren Miller, arrested in Mobile. McCants arrested on Monday, Miller arrested yesterday. The 3 suspects on the bottom, Antonio McCants, LaQuante McCants, and Darian Johnson, arrested yesterday in Birmingham. Police say all, with the exception of Johnson, are related to 25-year-old Keontae McCants, who was killed just hours before McGenzie and Pritchard Tuesday morning. Now, police say McGenzie's son, Sidney Burke, was the trigger man in that case, which they believe prompted her revenge killing. Police Chief Lawrence Batiste thanking the public today for reaching out, saying doorbell ring camera footage actually was the break in this case. Now, when asked if this could be gang-related, Chief Batiste had this to say.
I think that there's bad blood maybe between the families, and then of course, but I haven't seen anything that suggests that it is a gang problem. It's an aggressive family revenge type of situation, an emotional reaction to one family member maybe losing their lives and they going and trying to exact that revenge, but no justice comes from revenge.
We start tonight with a Wink News exclusive, a brutal attack on a teenage girl at a mall for rejecting him. Hello again, I'm Chris Safadi.
And I'm Lois Tomey. Thank you for trusting Wink News. A witness says her attacker, a man 20 years older. That girl was left unconscious. Tonight, Wink News speaks exclusively to a witness. Wink News reporter Morgan Reiner is live at Coastland Mall. And Morgan, do we know how that girl is doing tonight?
Police tell me that girl is still unconscious. The witness I spoke to told me that Bruce Gordon had this deranged look on his face. He wouldn't stop beating up a defenseless 17-year-old girl who was knocked unconscious on the floor. He shared with me what he saw so that you know that this man wasn't going to stop. He could have killed her. It was a normal lunch break for the witness I spoke with. He was excited to eat Panda Express in the food court.
Directly in front of me was a 17-year-old looking girl with what appeared to be her grandmother.
He says Bruce Gordon walked up to her on a mission.
I guess he wanted to start some sort of romantic relationship with her, but he was very close and very, intrusive.
She said no, get away.
It seemed to kind of just happen and fizzle away. The suspect then walked away.
But it was far from over. A few minutes later, the witness says Gordon walked over to the teen's table.
Delivered this blow to the person's face, and the victim immediately fell like a sack of potatoes. If I were hit in that manner, I would have fallen in the same way.
He described her as lifeless, but it still wasn't over.
And then after that, it was just continual pummeling while she was on the floor, completely unresponsive. Just looked to me like he had every intention of killing her.
Other bystanders started throwing chairs at him. The witness yelled at Gordon.